Welcome back, everybody, to the ADHD podcast. This is gonna be a fun one. I've already messed it up. We're gonna start over again.
No, we are not. No, we are not.
Welcome back, y'all.
Straight through.
I'm your terrible master of commissions, host of this podcast, Russ, GM of the Green Lanterns, the minor league team, the Golden Brown, the master of commissions. Is that what I said?
That's what you said, yeah.
This is going great.
Let's go for the third.
This is very
we'll
professional.
cut all this. We're definitely gonna cut it.
I'm joined by three other beautiful gentlemen. The commissioner of this beautiful ADHD league, Gary Lee Merman. Talk to me, big guy.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, fam?
Also joined by the GM of the Sex Bombs, Digging the Name. Short and sweet, love it. And then
it gets longer when you comment on how short and sweet it is.
And then also joined by, last but not least, our current champion, Dale.
I have a question.
Right here.
Is Dale's seat a rotating champion seat? Like, does he have to earn it every season?
Yeah, the fourth person.
Oh, like to be in the podcast. The fourth. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna stop looking at the screen. All right. We got done the first draft last podcast, and now we're gonna move on to the second round of the draft.
I didn't know we did two drafts.
Shut up, Dale. Like today, I'm in rare form. I'm in the rarest of forms.
Things I enjoy more
Forgive
than
me.
poking Russell while he's trying to focus.
Oh boy, it's tight.
Poking Russell is tight.
But yeah, let's just jump into it. We're gonna go hit the second round. Talk about some of our favorite draft picks and all that drafts, just overall from GMs, some recent trades. Just gonna go around the block and wrap the rest of this draft up. So let's go to 201. That's gonna be Wes with Jaxson Dart.
The Dart man. I think so.
Bartholomew.
This was only the second quarterback taken in the draft. Which I know Alex was surprised. I know we talked last time that he was trying to get up at the end of the first to take Jaxson Dart. So I think exactly. So I do think that this ended up being a great value pick for Wes. This was his first pick in the draft. He's in a complete rebuild, so not a bad ad.
Probably gonna sit on the bench for the entire year. He's a runner, so even like any of these, the same Jaxson Dart, and then as soon as Jaxson Dart went, I was also trying to get up for the next two picks for the next quarterback, which we'll talk about. Quarterback that sits on the bench for a year, so you stash him on the taxi, and they're gonna run when they get out. These are both like
over and under. How many games do you think he starts this year?
Dart?
Yeah.
6.
I'll take the under on.
Well, I'm writing this down. I mean, it's recorded, whatever. But
no, write it down. We have to write it down. We have to document these.
Sorry,
things.
who's set the line, Gary, and then we'll take the over.
Yeah. You're the gamble guy.
I would probably set it at 6.5.
See, I take the under on that.
6.5.
Then I was gonna take the under. I was
Starts?
probably at 6 as well.
Give me 5.5. Give me 5.5.
All right. Yeah. Okay. 5.5. Really? Because I don't know. Like, this is what I think is going to happen. Russell Wilson's going to start the year. He's going to look terrible. They're going to put Jameis in. He's going to look great for the first game, then throw 6 picks in the next, and then Dart's just going to be in. Because Malik is going to be over there like, dude. Although this is, we're not going to get into this, but Malik with Jameis Winston. No,
I'm so excited. That's what I was hoping for. When they signed him first, I was like,
that's money.
Oh god.
Yeah, great pick for Wes. Pretty. I think this was pretty much the last guy who probably could have been in the first. So he snagged him at 201.
The 202.
the Giants have a week 7 bye, by the way. If that.
Let's see. I think Russell Wilson makes it to the bye. Jameis goes in after that, and they just look at themselves and are like, "Didn't we draft this guy to plan on benching him for half the year, and then, or more than half the year?" So I took the under on 6.5. So I have to say less than
Yeah,
that.
I just think they're gonna be all afraid to lose their
desperate.
jobs, and they're like, "We got to take a shot," because Jameis and Russell aren't gonna keep.
What if this is the year that Jameis figures it out?
Or it's the year that Tre Harris and the Chargers goes crazy by being picked by Kyle at the 202.
I'm a little surprised Tre Harris got picked above Matthew Golden. I get it, but like, Golden's first-round wide receiver. Despite what Jaden Reed's like special feel better meeting would imply, there is no distinct number 1 wide receiver for the Packers, and Jordan Love is like we're generally pleased. He's probably the starter, and unless things go really sideways, he's probably going to extend and he'd be the Packers starter. So I was just a little surprised. It is a crowded room, but on the reverse, if you're confident that Quentin Johnston is not real, then Tre Harris splitting over against Ladd McConkey, that seems like a pretty good spot. And I think Harbaugh, there's been a couple really cute moments where Jim Harbaugh has kind of gushed about how much he loves Justin Herbert's talent, and despite wanting to be a run-first offense with Greg Roman is their offensive coordinator, right?
Yes.
Despite that, halfway through the year last year, you could see them go, oh shit, our running game's not working. We better chuck this thing. And then Justin Herbert reminded everybody about his rookie year. So I think that there's certainly upside. No issue with Harris over Golden, just a little surprised.
Wide receiver, does this solve? I mean, look, Kyle came into this league picking up the bunch of scraps that were left over from the previous season. Does this at the very least start him in the right direction? Maybe wide receiver's a little too, I don't know, volatile or too safe of a pick. What are your thoughts on just like team comp going from there, Gary?
So another team like Wes, who's in a pure rebuild, and another team who's making their first pick here at the beginning of the second round. So I mean, as much as you can at this point, you're just trying to gather talent, and I don't care as much about like where you're getting it. This feels like just a dude who he's taking his shot on, so I'm never going to be mad at that. I do think it's a little early ADP wise, but I think he's making a bet on that offense, which I don't think is going to end up being a bad bet. So I think as far as trying to fix certain position groups, that's probably skipping steps with like his rebuild, and he's really just in that talent gathering phase. So.
All right, next up, go ahead, Doe. Go ahead.
I was going to say that. Like, he's got some decent receivers already. So, like, but I guess the next choice would be running back. And so Cam Skattebo was probably a little early there. But, I mean, that or a quarterback basically is, where he really needs to fill.
He also picked at 4, and I think that this pick was a tactical pick, knowing that next would be Ray, and then at the next pick he could then do this move.
Right back around.
So I would bet that and I refuse to learn your name, my man, because you're a Pikachu until otherwise directly corrected. Pick your poison between the last probably 2 receivers at this tier, and then clean up at pick 2 of 4, which we'll get to.
At the 203.
Receiver in that tier, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. 203, Ray snags up Matthew Golden, just recently spoke on. So, I mean, he goes there right immediately after Harris. Not apparently a steal, but Alex, you said that Golden was a little bit higher, definitely, than Harris. Was it a clear? He was the first round pick, just straight up, just like this should have been the next wide receiver taken.
A second round pick, and Matthew Golden's a first round pick. So it's not like, I mean, whatever. You could make your argument either way. It's not a huge deal, but
go get your guy, like your guy. Yeah,
right. It's a little bit surprising that he slid past the second round guy, but if you think that the Packers are too crowded, which is a fair thing to think, then Golden's gonna, at least for the first year, have to deal with him. I think both Wicks and Watson are free agents next year. So it could suddenly just be Matthew Golden, Jayden Reed, and that could be pretty favorable. So I think that's a good value for Ray, especially for a guy that could have gone back in the first.
And he already snags up Hampton, Tet. He's got positions all across the board. I feel like he can just take the next available and just be super duper fine, right? With Hampton, McMillan, Ward, Judkins, and all those guys taken in the first. I think you just slap the best available button.
10 picks in this
draft.
Yeah,
you can't talk about 2025. You can't talk about 2025 draft without talking about Ray.
Oh, if you click on it highlights if you click on someone.
Oh, really?
It highlights. It like darkens everyone else. Yeah. And
Holy smoly!
Like the whole board.
Wow, dude, what a great feature.
That's sweet. Well, then I'm gonna.
But Ray's also a Packers fan. First receiver to the Packers. I mean, I can't say anything wrong about taking a first round receiver from
homie picks are great. There was 3 solid homie picks this year, right? We have the Genty at the 101, the Raiders.
Is it a homie pick if it's like just the regular pick? Isn't the homie part?
I think the trade
but it also gets the homie tag. I'll say that it's not a homie pick per se. It's a homie tag.
If Ashton Genty didn't go to the Raiders, I would not have traded up to get him. So fair.
Homie
Yeah. This was Ray's like 5th pick in the draft. He got a dude who ADP wise is wide receiver 3 going at the back of the first. So I mean, just cleaning up. Nothing much else to say about the pick, I think.
Then we come right back to Kyle. I'm sorry, Pikachu is his real name. My apologies.
Black out for a second.
Go back to Pikachu. Like we're speaking on right there, 204, and he snags up the next QB in Mr. Milroe.
Jalen Milroe.
In Seattle.
Roll Tide.
All right, Gary, give me your
unique New York,
Bama opinion.
New York.
I have heard as for Jalen Milroe, his arm is and needs some work, but as a runner, he is adjacent to any of the premier runners like Lamar Jackson in the NFL currently on the ground. Though we'll see about his arm. Is that you're consistent with your?
So basically, Jalen Milroe's MO while he was at Alabama was obviously elite athlete with his feet. I do think that he's going to be on par with the best athletes at quarterback in the NFL day one. And pretty deep ball, but intermediate and short accuracy were questionable. So I think that showed up a lot at the end of this season with Alabama. I think it showed up a lot in the pre-draft process with him. I think he was working a lot on footwork and things like that to change up his technique. But I mean, he's as good of a shot as you can take here. Early to mid second on a quarterback who's going to have that running upside for fantasy.
You're telling me that he is going to come in as an athletic peer to Indianapolis Colts superstar and highest graded athlete at the quarterback position, Anthony Richardson?
I mean, they ran
and get gassed
40s.
halfway through a game. Yeah, my bad.
The difference being you get him at 204 versus the 102 or the 105.
Yeah, right.
Like super. I think it's I would take that gamble. He's my QB3 in this class too. I was hoping to end up with him, but obviously didn't. I like it. Also, there's an out in Sam Darnold's contract next year. So if Sam Darnold doesn't work out in Seattle and he was a one-hit wonder, then Milroe probably starts next year. So you're telling me that a running quarterback, you're going to get points. And I like the pick.
All right, let's move on to the next one. 205, we've got Ray snagging up Mason Taylor, tight end for the New York Jets. Dale, you got New York.
Like, I dropped my old eggs.
New York.
Y-O-K-E. Not even yolk. It's yoke.
Oh,
Where's
I'm traveling from the east
Y-O-A-K.
to Oregon, but my wagon has broken, and when I go to look at it, the yoke broke. That's what you're saying?
No, I changed it. I changed it back to the like oak, like the tree, and then you just put a Y behind it.
Oh, like the sound that Ash's mom makes.
What, when Professor Oak comes over? Or?
How long were you holding it? No, how long were you holding it? Because that was in your head.
No,
that was in your head.
Like the moment you said Y-Oak, I'm like, hey, look at that. That'll work out.
God. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, are you more disgusting because you could just come up with it on the fly, or are you more disgusting because you were waiting for it the entire time?
It's a good question. I would like to think that the forgiveness of impulse will abstain me from too much moral weight.
Jesus. All right. Does anybody have any information on Mason Taylor? I don't know too much about rookies.
So I'll just
to somebody.
I'll just say that I do think ADP wise he's tight end 3 in this class.
Okay.
And again, I think this is Ray's 6th pick. And so far, I think that
he completes the rainbow with that one, right?
Yeah, he was actually
the green, blue, red, orange.
So I think he's just trying to grab the position, knowing tight end premium starting. And I was actually talking to him a few days ago, and he was letting me know that Ty definitely sniped him on Warren. That was kind of what he was hoping for at 1.7. So I think he fixes that here at 2.5 and just takes the tight end, knowing that he's pretty much gotten like 5 first-round picks already. So
some good buzz on Mason Taylor as far as being like a high chance at the second, I guess third probably receiving option on the offense behind.
Yeah, I just don't know if you want to be the third receiving option with Justin Fields. Like I mean, I'm skeptical of like his early production. I don't know if it's the best situation, but I know that he was highly touted in the draft, and a lot of scouts liked him. He had some first-round buzz. So,
but doesn't Field really like his tight ends?
He would
Like
love
Komet.
second down to the running back.
Yeah, like didn't he? I don't know how Freiermuth was those first couple weeks last year, but I know that in Chicago he fed.
Yeah, but who did
They
he
were
have
doing-
to throw to before DJ Moore got to town with Justin Fields?
Cole Komet was like tight end number 2.
Exactly.
And Darnell
Oh, okay,
Mooney.
okay.
And they had
All right.
Darnell Mooney at the time.
I thought it was
Fair
like
enough.
who did he throw to? Like he threw to somebody.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll
Though.
see.
It's the Jets
Yeah.
too, so
Some volatility there.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming up to
Just to be in the quarterback
206.
market next season
we
anyway,
skipped.
so.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, that's on me.
No, you're good. You're good. It's going. I'm throwing it right back to you, Dale. Anyway, 206. You want to tell the people what you chose?
Cam Skattebo. He was my favorite. Like he's my favorite guy in this draft. Like since pre-draft, since the Texas game where that man, he I think threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. It
was this guy?
He was almost single-handedly beat Texas in the playoffs. He was vomiting on the sideline
I'll do
when
it
they
myself.
when they went to do an interview, and they're like, "Oh, you can't interview him right now. He's throwing up over there because he was giving it all." And I just like
That's
the
awesome.
effort, the heart, and I love a good heart player. So I had to have
we
him,
play with our what?
our emotions,
We do.
and he plays with his emotions. So he's a tough guy. It's football, so toughness cares.
Yeah.
We'll see if it works out, but I'm excited. And
He's got a good path.
Yeah. He's got a
There's
good path.
Tyrone Tracy's obviously a hit. Devin Singletary's there, but Devin Singletary's only job is to make you question whether you should pick that guy because he will do nothing else. So it's a
That is
rough offense. But imagine year 2, Jaxson Dart's now starting. Malik Neighbors is still taking the top off of all the defenses, and now even if it's a split backfield between Tyrone Tracy and Cam Skattebo, that's going to be pretty healthy. So
Really good.
that's a good pick in the mid-second.
And he's a great receiving back, so that's a good option.
No, I love him. He ran a 4.7. That's the only thing. So, but I'm rooting for the kid in the league.
Who are some of the slowest big-time running backs? There's a couple that I don't know if anyone's 4.7. I remember seeing some 4.6s from like.
I mean, Singletary was like in the 4.6s as well. Maybe they just like slow guys. But
Dale,
off the top, I can't remember.
That was not originally your pick at the 206, was it?
No, it's not. I traded up for that pick with you.
I was on the road, driving back from Pittsburgh, and so obviously we're doing the draft. We do our 10-hour, 12-hour picks.
I think eight for the second.
Yeah, eight-hour picks for the second round. Just a slow draft. Let people who have lives do their life things, right? So I start to get on the road. I'm like, okay, let me just go through my sleeper joint, see what I got on the horizon. If anybody has any trades, let me just make whatever discussions I can do now. So it was my inbox was empty at that point. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So I jump on the road, and then I'm like an hour in, and I get a call. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. Boop. It's Dale. So then Dale's just like, oh, I'm like, well, I'm glad you called me because I wasn't gonna see any kind of sleeper notifications. So I illegally ended up clicking the accept on his trade offer. While I open it up to accept the offer, I see, I hit accept, and then I'm like, oh, there's other notifications. I go up, and there I see Atlas, LF Atlas. I'm like, ooh. And it's for the 206. So I'm like, let me throw him a message now.
If you're keeping count,
So I continue.
That's maybe I should keep count.
That's the 4th?
No. That's the 7th.
7th?
Damn.
Miss.
So
I
then
should have
I'm like,
added a
let me-
cup count overlay for Alex.
Put that in the corner. Krillin.
Oh my god.
Who are you trying to get there?
Yeah, so Alex, who were you trying to snag at that 206?
Cam Skattebo.
There you go. All right, so he was going there regardless. So so I was like, all right, and then we ended up talking about later picks illegally, but we don't worry about that at this point.
Yeah,
We'll get to
it was
those
a
picks
good value
later.
there. It was good value there. I know that early on in the
That was a
process.
211 and 212 for the 206, right?
Yeah.
But I know early on in the process, Dale was considering taking him as early as 112. So I know that he was sweating as the early second was popping off. I'm sure he was in everyone's inbox trying to move up for Cam, because I know he has an
The
obsession.
203 was the only one that I was like, I know what's going to happen here. I can.
Yeah.
I'll just not. I'm not going to even talk to Ray. I'm like, if Golden's there, I just move on. We're talking to 204.
That's funny. Moving on to the 207, that's going to be Mr. Burden. Luther Burden over there in Chicago, taken by Wes.
I don't know, and nobody knows if Luther Burden is going to be that good, but Luther Burden reminds me a lot of Emeka Egbuka this year and JSN last year, where this is a player that was given some pretty high praise talent-wise, lands in a situation where they're heavily buried, and their ADP therefore slips, and I think history will look back on that like not poorly, but like that he fell probably too far. I don't know where he should have gone. So I'm not saying that this is a bad spot for him, but there was a lot of buzz out of Chicago. So let's recall Ben Johnson comes to town. He immediately drafts Colston Loveland, who we already had a tight end on Chicago for not we, it's not me, but you get my point. They had Cole Kmet, but they took Colston Loveland. They had DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, and they decided to take Luther Burden anyway. And then word gets out that he's like, we're looking for people who are going to work hard on every play. If you want to get targeted, then you got to block. You got to keep working. And that may be a thinly veiled shot at DJ Moore, who had some effort issues kind of late in the season especially. So there is a non-zero chance that Luther Burden, whose professional comp, generally speaking, the one I heard the most frequently was
St. Brown?
DJ Moore. And so as a potential DJ Moore replacement who specializes in yards after the catch, there could be some drama here because that's a lot of people to feed on the Bears. I don't know if that's really that likely because DJ Moore's got some time on his contract, but curious anyway.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, Keenan Allen's old, and I love it for Wes. I mean, clear rebuilding team. He's making the long play. I think that he was probably also considering Higgins here, with the draft capital, but I think he's just going for a talent play. I think the guy has a little Debo in him. He's a yak monster. I think that he's one of these guys that Ben Johnson can have some creative stuff early for him, in the game script and give him some easy touches. And I mean, he's going to be one of those guys that's just going to make plays with the ball in his hand. So he's going to be hard to keep off the field if he's doing that. So I really like the play as a long play for Wes, especially on a rebuilding team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had him in my. He was my wide receiver 4 in this class. I really debated taking him after I traded and not taking Skattebo right there.
Man.
It was tough. I spent like an hour of the time I had after I acquired the 206 to try to trade for the 207 so I could go these two back to back. I thought he fell too far. I obviously picked with my heart and not my brain. But I really like this.
Listen to your heart.
I think he's gonna be a guy in Chicago if Ben Johnson can do what he did with Detroit in Chicago. So.
Oh yeah. Well, failing the 206, Alex, you're still able to have a spot in the second round at the 208.
I acquired 208 and I stared at ADP. And I said, if everything falls exactly as ADP should, then Jalen Milroe will be right here at 2.8, and that's my supreme value. So I was surprised that he went at 2.4, but as the draft got closer, I got more and more uneasy. Like, there's no way someone's going to pull that trigger, and they did. That being said, Jayden Higgins. This was part of a group of wide receivers all mixed together in that kind of tier 2-ish range, not like the premier guys, but walk with me for a second on my hype for Jayden Higgins and let the record show that I drafted him above Jack Bech, who I also love pre-draft. Jayden Higgins lands in Houston. Houston, let's not forget, rookie year, CJ Stroud's a cannon and just launching it like crazy. Year 2 bounces, regresses pretty hard. The truth is probably somewhere in between there. Tank Dell, hurt. Stephon Diggs, gone. And with their moves, the Houston Texans took Jayden Higgins in the very top of the second, and Jalen Knoll in I think late second, early third. So they're saying pretty clearly, we are worried about the future of Tank Dell. There is a very strong chance that Jayden Higgins is going to start on the outside across from Nico Collins, who's going to be the number 2 target on that offense, because Christian Kirk is going to be in the slot until Jalen Knoll probably takes the slot, because Jayden Higgins is a Nico Collins clone. They're both these giant outside machines. So really excited. I think there's some proper upside for Jayden Higgins going here at 2-8.
Yeah.
This whole cluster of picks was actually pretty nice, I think, value-wise.
What, like 2-8 through?
Yeah, just Skattebo, Burden, Higgins, I thought were like really nice values mid-second.
At the 209, we've got, I don't know his first name.
Dunny.
Dynlan Sampson, snagged up by Dunny. That's Dunny's second running back taken this draft. Was he looking for that position to shore up any needs on his roster, or is he just doing the Dunny thing and just because like for me, like Dunny for me classic has all the running backs. Like I feel like every time I saw this guy's team throughout the years, there was just some dummy running backs just chilling back there in the stable. So is this just him going back to the classic tried and true, or did he have a need here?
Yeah, do the thing, Dunny. I really think that obviously he's doing his thing. You like that? That was for Alex.
Yeah, eat it, Russell.
Like I don't watch the damn show.
Well, I just knew I would get a laugh out of Alex.
I'm done. I mean, what am I, a joke to you?
Chop livo. Okay, what was my thought process again here? Yes, Dunny likes running backs. Not surprised. I had made the argument on our pre-draft mock pod that we did that he was going to be concerned about his aging running backs. I mean, I think off the top, he's got Kamara and
Kamara, Jones,
Aaron
Dillon.
Jones. Yes,
he does have youth and Mr. Bard.
Don't mention A.J. Dillon as one of his aging running backs of relevance in this collection with Kamara and Jones. He's got Alvin Kamara and Aaron Jones, and also some other guys. Chuba
was the other guy. You know, we had kind of gone back and forth about how valuable that was or how safe that was. But anyways, like I think that he's very purposefully building in some youth at running back. I think that was on purpose. As far as the pick, I think Sampson's fine here. I do think this was a little early ADP wise, but I'm not mad at it because I think that that just taking a shot at that Cleveland backfield. Also, he's going to be behind Judkins, so I think they're going to have two rookie running backs kind of leading the way. So yeah, Dylan Sampson also had some decent hype coming out of the NFL draft. He was a good running back at Tennessee, so SEC kid. I think the pick's totally fine, and Dunny's obviously trying to get youth here at our running back.
The next pick, we also see a running back. Bale, I want you to tell me about Gary's pick.
You want me to?
While Gary's watching and listening to your analysis.
I would have taken Tuten over Sampson. So I think that,
agreed.
That like it would have been basically Skattebo, Tuten, Sampson. So I like the pick. I think that there's a good chance that he's the starting running back in Jacksonville at the end of the season. They don't like Etienne. They don't like him. He's underperforming. He could get traded. He'd be released, at the end of the year. And then why cannot think of his name? Tank Bigsby. Fumbles too much. So he, as long as he holds onto the ball, he could get ahead of Tank, and then I think Etienne is, a position he can get ahead of. So he could be starting at running back in Jacksonville by the end of the season.
Plus one for this concern is that the new head coach of the Jags, Liam Cohen, has jokingly said, I don't know what we're going to do on defense, but on offense, I got a plan. And last time we saw him, he was in Tampa Bay disregarding the established running back to promote and feature some new kid. And so, granted, I think everyone can agree that the replacement...
Who is that?
Go ahead.
Kid?
There you go. Bucky Irving. There you are.
Oh, it's that guy!
Bucky Irving was a monster and deserved the feed, but the point is that clearly Liam Cohen was not bound by his obligations to Rashad White to feature, or Sean Tucker, who was also getting a lot of buzz, but never quite broke through. So the point is, I think it's definitely possible that Tuten takes over that backfield. And then, Gary, help me out. Would you prefer a fart joke or a trumpet joke?
You're darn tootin'.
Perfect.
No
notes.
No, I just
going for
kind of
California with that one.
I don't know what I was going for.
No,
Honestly.
the joke, like the setup. The setup was like, would you like a
Oh.
fart joke or a Trump joke? When Trump farts, everything is fart.
But no, I just kind of tie bow on the pick. I was really stoked to get him here. He's definitely one of my. I honestly would consider him personally as early as 201 is where I kind of had him on my own board. So I was really stoked to get him here. I think I actually have him with Skattebo, and everyone's kind of already made the points. I think by the end of the year, he's going to be, his value's going to be rising a lot, and I'm not super depending on him this year. Just love it to future-proof the running back position for me a bit.
Hella fast at the combine as well. I think he was the fastest running back by a
Yeah, I love betting on athleticism at this position, especially in the late second.
All right, and then at the 211, trade alert. Whilst driving down Route 68, Highway 68.
You got this.
Okay.
I was driving.
On the road.
DeAndre Swift is traded to the Green Lanterns for the 211 and a 212, acquired by. No, it was both.
Oh, it wasn't. You still have 212.
Oh, it was for the 211. That's right, because I made a pick at the 212. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there you go.
Your new starter.
DeAndre Swift for the 211. Alex, you end up snagging up
Jack Bech.
Yeah, bash.
Yeah, you should always mind about Jack Bech. I was a huge fan of Jack Bech, and tragically I have moved him off my team already. But I think the value was right, and everyone's already mad about me.
All right.
But I really liked him pre-draft. He goes to the Raiders, where he could easily slot in as the number 2 wide receiver without blinking, and he could contest Jakobi Meyers as the number 1. Jakobi Meyers is infinitely undervalued as a very solid wide receiver, but it doesn't really matter which of the two of them is more heavily featured. They're both going to be involved. Obviously, they'll be second to Brock Bowers in the passing game, and second to Ashton Genty on offense in general. But value here way down at 211 is great, and I think genuinely the exchange of DeAndre Swift, who has a lot of negative voodoo around him, but escaped the draft and is still the starter, then becomes a dart throw running back for a dart throw wide receiver. Pretty happy with it. I also had Tuten much higher, and my tier ended. Sampson was the start of the next tier, and I had Tuten, Skattebo, Bech, Jayden Higgins, all kind of in that. I hope I can snag one of these dudes before the second runs out. I was really worried that at 211, if for me, I'd be happy to take Dynlan Sampson or Jaden Blue, but I really wanted one of these other guys. So
oh, yeah. And then to wrap up the second round, the Green Lanterns snagged up Shedeur Sanders.
Do we have a drop for celebration horns, a party ball?
We did in Discord, but then we
I need to add the
relocated
drops.
to-
I actually have a cool new app for the drops. They'll be added. We're slowly chugging along with the production.
Just
value.
we're
We'll
making
get
some
there.
We're
drops
evolving.
again, then.
We're doing it.
Russell, do you want to
yeah.
commit now to Shedeur Sanders Hall of Fame, or do you want to wait for the preseason until he wins the job?
Oh, I committed to him once I saw him flash a Rolex at the stands that
he's
one
chipping.
time when he was 13 and 12 and got his jersey retired.
Yeah.
No, look, crowded QB room in Cleveland. Sure. It might just be the name, but I wanted to gamble. I wanted to just throw a gamble on him. I'm okay at the QB position with Bo Nix, Justin Fields, that other guy that I don't really like to
show some respect.
Jared Goff. Fine.
Your best quarterback.
Shut up.
This
No,
is
he's not. Bo Nix is.
Bo Nix
is.
disrespect.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
That was
You're right.
crazy. Dude's
No,
number
you know what?
7.
No,
No, I
choose
think
Goff.
Goff
Jared
is
Goff is
better
a better
than Bo
NFL
Nix.
player.
I'm not disrespecting. I think that Goff is.
Yeah, I agree with Dale on that.
Anyhow, I'm glad because in the recording program, it's got Gary and I in a vertical, and then Dale and Alex in the vertical. So we're very
attacking you.
Knicks and Goff segregated. Real nice. But yeah, 212. He slid in the draft. Frankly, he could have slid longer in this one. I'm sure.
That's a chaos pick. Nobody knows
yeah,
where Shedeur could've gone.
absolutely. You know, this draft was a little bit of upside anyway, snagging Hunter, as I did. So just why not? My team's just in a position where I can I can take the gamble and not like just be so scared of the downside of it all. So I like being up there. It felt good to jump back to the 11 and 12, move the 11, sit there at 12, and take a quarterback.
I think.
Nothing too much.
Tell me what you guys think, but I think there are only two outcomes for Shedeur Sanders. He is too talented, despite us all picking on him and him being obnoxious. He's too talented to not win the Cleveland Browns job, so he wins the job, or he's too obnoxious and he gets cut. And I don't think there's an in between.
Yeah.
You
I mean, that
the
seems
video,
pretty likely.
the stuff that I've been hearing coming out of locker rooms and stuff like that has been positive. Now, obviously, they're going to be spinning the narrative around. Oh no, he's not what any of you guys thought because we picked him, and that can't be the case if it's not. If it's not that, it's definitely the positive part of it all.
You know
so,
what's
I mean,
remarkable too about that pick is that a 5th round quarterback got drafted before a 2nd round quarterback in Tyler the Stone Turtle Shough.
I will give you the 301, but from there we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh,
there's
I was
nothing to
gonna
talk
say,
about.
I
He's
was
the
gonna say,
second quarterback.
Oh,
I
okay.
do want to
Okay.
bring up one thing about that pick.
The 301?
No, the
212?
212, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you were thinking about drafting him at the 2-6, Russell. So
I actually was.
Like, I think he'll be there at the 212.
Yeah,
12 for you. So
I was gonna be way too greedy. I was like, "There's just no one." And again, I don't do enough research into these rookie drafts, so the headlining names end up just sticking in my brain, and I just get conditioned and Pavloved into just only seeing those names and those names popping up in my light board. So I was like, I know this feels too early though. I was like, I know this is way too early. And so when Dale hits me up, I was like, this is who I'm picking. So if you think I can get him later, then sure, let's try it out. Luckily, it was there. So I made up as far as like a bandit in my own silly, irrational.
He turned Sanders into DeAndre Swift and Sanders. So.
Yeah. Feels good. Feels good.
Picked up a running back. I actually think Sanders here is totally fine. Like you said, you're just taking big shots on a quarterback going into Superflex. And yeah, you can make arguments that Shough should have went ahead of Sanders, just draft capital wise. Maybe if we got the Derek Carr retiring news before the draft, maybe that happens. But like these two kind of going back to back right here feels right to me.
Shough would have gone mid-second easy if the
Derek Carr that was the case.
Before the rookie.
Yeah, probably. You're probably
just on
right.
Quarterback, I don't not a huge Shough believer, but I mean we are always wrong about QBs all the time.
No, for sure. No, 100%. And you just take the shots on these guys, especially here in the mid rounds. Like you just take them. So.
Okay, can I get someone or pick a person from round 3 that's worth mentioning, or a pick, just like make it easy?
You have one.
I'll go first. I think I like the not to freaking vamp Dale too much, but the Arroyo pick I thought was super value, especially so far. I think he and Mason Taylor should have been closer. I just really like that pick. A super athlete guy. Was really good at Miami. Just an interesting offensive ecosystem he's going into. I think he will overtake Fant eventually. So I that was definitely one of my favorite picks of the 3rd round.
Or he's Kyle Pitts, 1 to 2. But it cost me a 3rd, so whatever.
Alex?
Brashard Smith. Brent takes him at 3-8. We are smarter than we used to be, and I'm speaking directly to myself about the Chiefs' backfield. And in this particular draft, it was known that running back was not only loaded at the top, but very deep, to the extent that we should have a conversation about this year, what draft capital means outside of like context for the rest of it. As in, if a running back goes, say, in the 5th round, that maybe in the past they would have gone in the 4th, or in the 4th, maybe the 3rd. So not that we should overweight that, because historical context is historical for a reason. But Brashard Smith goes, I think, in the 6th or 7th round, so quite late.
Yeah, he was definitely late. I think 6 is right.
Right, super late. But if you look at the backfield, let's not forget that Isaiah Pacheco was undrafted. They are clearly not afraid of a late-round running back. Pacheco did not look right at the end of last year. It could be that he was still hurt, but could also be that there was a reason why he went so late, and then he got hurt, and now he's missing the thing that helped him not be that bad. Kareem Hunt, who is made of dust and is a bag of skeleton.
Not in the first half of that season.
You want to You want to go all in on Kareem Hunt? Is that your boy this year? You're gonna go in on?
I mean, I own him in 2 leagues, so yes.
The point being is that Kareem Hunt was on our waivers longer than he should have been. But the point being, the Chiefs' backfield, which we know has some value, has an old guy, an undrafted rookie who is hurt, a different rookie that's pretty low. Like, what was Carson Steele, another super late rookie? This is an open backfield, and if there's one person,
he's got a gator. He as a pet.
I don't know if Brashard Smith owns any vicious animals, and that could be his downfall.
What?
But it's a great value at 3.8, I think.
Okay. Dale,
for sure.
All right. I might be taking this from you, Russell, but I like the Howard pick. I honestly think he could be the starting quarterback.
It's the starter
from week 1. Like we were talking about Shough, but I also think Howard could start. I would rather if I'm starting both of those quarterbacks, I'd rather have Howard because I trust the Steelers organization,
especially if they trade for Chris Olave.
And they could trade for Chris Olave. They still have DK, and I think that I like the pick. He led Ohio State to a national championship.
Yeah.
He obviously had talent around him, but I think that he will be value. There'll be value there.
Yeah, I was right there with him. A starting quarterback in the 3rd round feels solid. I was gonna stack him at the 3-5, but I just wanted to throw a dart at a tight end and see if I can get that going. Plus,
I like Terrence Ferguson a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Will Howard up there, I think, was like the cool pick for me in the 3rd round. So good on you, Brent.
4th round highlights. Let's do in reverse order, Russell. You go first.
I don't have anybody in 4th.
Everyone's garbage. Got it. Pass.
I like Jarquez Hunter there. That's who I wanted at 410, that's who I wanted at 411. That Kevin took at 410. I think that Dylan Gabriel 3rd round quarterback super interesting. Quinn Ewers is interesting. Just taking these positions late is always going to be interesting. And I will say, just not to go back completely, but I feel like I also want to shout out that Jaden Blue pick from Gennaro there at 3-3. I also really like that pick. So
another backfield that's wide open.
Yeah.
Dale?
I don't know. Probably 4th round, I would go Ewers probably. Tua's definitely going to miss time this year. He might miss. He could easily be out week 1 and be done for the rest of, I think he's one concussion away from should never be. I mean, he's probably past should never be playing football.
I'm about to say, I think he's already.
But, then who's he got to beat out?
Former number 2 overall pick, Zachary Wilson.
That was like, I know it's a Jets quarterback, which could be the next Sam Darnold. Right. As soon as you get out and the Raiders quarterback. Jeez, why can't I'm just blanking on
Minshew.
Eric Carr.
No, the current Raiders quarterback.
Oh, Geno Smith.
You get out of the Jets system, you become a starting quarterback and are productive. So I could see that working out for him, but if it doesn't, Quinn Ewers. I think Miami's offense is exciting, so getting a part of that is good. He could be the starter. I don't think he's the best quarterback, but I think if he checks down to the talent, the fucking track team that he has around him, then that's all you really need to do. It's like, can you get the ball accurately 5 yards down the field in Miami? You got a starting job.
You got a shot.
You can lead an offense to victory. So I think Quinn Ewers. I also really like the Jaden Blue in the 3rd round.
You only get one, Dale.
Cheaters.
But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about
Alex, what you got, big dog?
Isaac Tesla. The Lions traded a future 3rd and a future 3rd in order to spend a 3rd to draft Isaac Tesla. That does not mean that this will work out. See Trey Lance. But they clearly are a fan. There is, excuse me, Bentley.
I'm talking about Tesla.
I'm talking about Tesla.
How dare you?
But he's also he's a Dan Campbell Titan person. He's huge. He's fast. He's athletic, as I recall.
Likes kneecaps.
Loves kneecaps. That's his number 1 culinary preference. And so I have no idea. Are they going to let Jameson Williams walk? I don't know. They're probably not letting Amon-Ra walk. They have a new offense to figure out. David Montgomery is going to walk away at some point or fade at some point. So there will be a time in the next couple of years that offense might have to reevaluate itself. And they certainly, the Lions have indicated who they want to succeed. Whether he will or not, there is still value to being drafted 3 times in 3 different third-round picks. So
he has already bought into the Dan Campbell way of life. like he is quoting Dan Campbell like in interviews. So Dan Campbell is my favorite head coach in the NFL, and it's not. He's probably my favorite coach like in any sport.
I recently have changed my mind, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
All right. So as a whole for the entirety of the draft, I want you to give me the GM whose draft you enjoyed the most, favorite draft, other than Ray, because you cannot talk about the 2025 draft without talking about Ray. Because oh my god,
draft was insane.
It's disgustingly beautiful.
He won that draft before we ever even started.
Before we even started. Yeah. Got rid of the 101 and I still loved it.
I know.
Like what?
I will actually say I'm surprised. Yeah. Good job, Ray.
So, give me a GM and give me one word to describe their draft.
I'll lead out. I'm going to give the shout out to Dunlap, and the word that I shall choose is immovable. Because he is the only person in this draft who had exactly and only his own picks. I have so much respect for playing the game this way. Look at this man.
It's just one column.
Yep.
And I like his picks. I like who he went for. I like the guys he took away. So it was a good draft, but also it was his. And nobody
Dunny the immovable.
Yeah, I like how, going into Superflex, going into tight end premium, fuck that. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
It is what it is. Dale or Gary, whoever's got theirs ready, go ahead.
I'll go ahead. I think that one of my favorite drafts, I don't think it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick just one. I think everyone did okay, but I actually really like Dale's draft. He only made 3 picks, but I thought they were all super value.
The one word.
Value. Value's the word.
Value.
Value.
Dale the valued. The valued. The valuable.
I don't know.
What's his title? All right, you're Dale the valuable.
Dale the valuable.
You're like a nice lamp.
You can't cut me because I'm valuable to the brand. So.
You just got called a lamp in someone's garage that they put an index card that said $5 underneath.
Market.
Free if you just get it off of my hands.
Is that why it's called a flea market?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, you research that.
But just to kind of wrap my thoughts on that a little bit. So Dale only made 3 picks. I thought they were all really great values, but he was also able to trade with me, and I thought he picked up some. He ended up getting Devonta Smith on the squad through this draft, as well as picking up some future capital. So I thought Dale managed to draft pretty well.
Go ahead.
I don't want this to be like a Dutch rudder situation here. I think that Gary had.
Whoa. You only dinner for 2, I see.
Really nice draft. Ultimately, I think Gary walked into the draft with only having his 311 and 411, I think, and walked away with 2 firsts, a late second, and he might have had that other 4th, but he got Loveland, who I really like. He picked up 2 running backs that I also really like. On a quick unrelated note, I think that Gennaro, he only had 2 picks, but I like the picks he made. But
we got some cheating out here with these
I know.
Selection.
Oh well, trying to give everyone their shine, I guess.
That's fair.
I guess what did you call it? The Dutch rudder.
Dutch rudder.
The Dutch rudder.
Yeah.
I can assume what that is referencing, but I don't understand what
it's referencing Zach and Miri make a porno.
Oh, I'm sad I don't remember that. Well, anyway, my team is going to be the Sex Bombs.
Hey!
It's going to be the Sex Bombs. My
Circle
one
jerk up
word to describe the Sex Bombs.
Sex. I agree.
I was gonna say sex.
Congratulations on the sex.
I did have a baby earlier. You saw it.
Successful. No, I gotta think of the one word.
How about? Oh no,
I'm just gonna call it the homies. It was the homies draft for the sex bombs. He moving up to get the 101 is always fun to see. So I'm sure that was like just exciting. It was exciting to at the very least watch, and then for him to be able to go up and get the guy that he gets to root for on the NFL side of things is always fun. It's always fun. And then the second round, I love the Higgins. I love the Bech. Bech, like a Bhyshal.
Russell, I even left you a message that I wanted. You were the person I thought you would appreciate this most, but I think you're still mad at me about trade negotiations or something. Because
I'm not mad. I'm just.
But I nicknamed.
I have a public apology I had to make after this. But go
on. Jack Bech. I nicknamed him Pawniard because then when he evolves, he would be Besharp, and then when he evolves again, he'd be King Gambesh.
Okay, I remember that blurb, and I looked at it, and I was like, there's a lot happening here.
Only Wes, look at me, baby, look at me. Only you appreciated the Shuckle.
And then to get Shuckle at the 301, I really liked it. 4, nice and easy, and made the 101 count. You can't go wrong.
So Alex, you traded for the 101 to make the pick, and you also traded in draft for the 2-8.
He went to get the homies, dude.
I got the 2-8 as part of a How did I get the 2-8? Oh, I got 2-8 from Brent, and to something else.
All right, you had 2-8 at the start of the draft, but you traded for 1-1 and 2-11 live draft. So
1-1 and 2-11 live, yeah.
The loyal, Alex the loyal. That's your title. Alex the loyal. Got loyalties, got royalties inside his DNA. Nice. Yeah, that wraps up the 2025 draft. Is there anything else you guys want?
Public apology?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this first, and then I'll get to mine. Like, let me handle my shame, huh? I got it. All right, so let's wrap the draft first, and then we'll go to I'm being DM'd right now. Wait. No. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about the 2025 draft before we cut to this apology and get on with our lives? It's a wrap. All right. I gotta make an apology. I was in some heavy trade negotiations or talks at the very least this past week, and in poor trade etiquette, I led my suitors on only to get the coldest of feet, and I pulled the plug on said trade. So to Alex, GM of the Sex Bombs, and what's Wes's name? Can you put
Wes of the West.
West team's name?
The East or something.
He's the
Doughboy.
Doughboy is
Doughboy. Dough down.
He's yeast mode now. All right, sure. And Wes, GM of the yeast mode, I humbly apologize for my lack of etiquette and inability to stick to it and follow through.
Piece of advice.
My gut. It's just I wanted to do things, and then my shit started screaming at like everything was saying no. I can't. It's not an excuse. I'm not here to make them. I'm here to apologize for making mistakes, though. So I'm not gonna make the trades.
To the viewership, Russell has a trade stamina window that you keep it simple, you keep it quick. Hey, click this, yes, no. If the negotiation goes too long, there's gonna be a fizzle, and that's fine. It may protect him. We have all had those trades that we're pushing for, and then we're like, man, I'm pushing too hard. I gotta back off. This is not a good trade for me. I just want it so bad. But just keep. If you're a viewer, Wes, I know you watching, baby. We know now.
You know what's funny, Alex? You blamed me last time for like ruining your trade relationship with Russell, but
you did.
I've actually. It's funny because I've actually had multiple people like message me like on the side and be like, yeah, you know, Alex. He just fucking wore me down, man. That fucking
attrition. So okay, like, good. As long as he said it first. So at Dale, before I pulled out that day, I had jumped into the cord, and Alex, you had jumped into the cord like 20 minutes after I had left. So I just like looked, and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm gone." I just went to work. But Dale and I were in there, and I'm telling him like, "Man, I don't think I can make this trade, and I feel kind of crappy." He's like, he just tells me a story. He's like, "Yep, dude, it's attrition. He just will wear you down." But it was a story that he got from somebody else.
I give options, I give variety, and I'm like, let's whittle down this menu. Let's find the fit. If the wall approaching from Wipeout is about to hit you, we got to get that stance just right.
Oh my god.
Alex's classic is like sending you a paragraph, but at the end it's like, but no big deal either way, bro. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's cool. Do you want to make this trade? Here's why it'd be good. But if you don't, let's just walk away. It's cool.
It's all love. It's all love.
God.
I mean, at the end of the day, Alex does get some of the most valuable trades done in the league, so can't be.
I feel like that V wanted to be something else. Like valuable was not the word that you wanted to
The
use,
most,
but...
yeah, you know, he might take you into an alley every now and then. You know, what was it? Ray sent me a DM after one of our last trades, and was like, "Dude, I'm about to fucking take Brent's phone away."
The other part is
God.
that there are times where in hindsight, like, because the number one thing I like about Dynasty is making these trades, because that's like the point, and they feel amazing when you can figure it out, right? But I try to just I'm trying to have my own value calculator and a reference public to make sure I'm not doing something irresponsible for my own team, but like I'm just gonna go for it. There are so many trades that don't work out that I will look back on and go, man, I was about to just give Joe Burrow away just now. I was just going to throw him to Gary for nothing. And so then it may look like I'm always opportunizing on others, but there are so many trades that don't go down that you look back and like, man, I just really wanted to trade. And I'm glad you said no. There are several of those.
For sure.
I think for all the viewing audience, if you're trading with Elf, you let him negotiate.
This has
with
turned into
himself.
something I didn't want to turn into. I just wanted to apologize, and it turned into a firing squad. It was like, I'm sorry for being a dick. Well, Alex, oh god.
Yeah, you let him negotiate with himself, because if he'll send you a trade, and even if you're at work and don't have time to deal with it or whatever, he'll come back to you with a better offer, and then a better one, and eventually you're like, okay, that's, so.
You know what's funny is that here we go with, and then the trades will happen, because I am perfectly willing to sit there in silence and be like, Dale hasn't responded. I'm going to spice this thing up so I get him to open his damn phone. No, didn't answer, did you? I'm going to spice this up even more.
It's a numbers game a lot. You make a lot of trades. Some of them are bad, but everyone just remembers the ones where you really pants somebody. So
real quick, speaking of numbers, what are the 160? It's not 165,000. $165.78. How much? What is that?
That
is
is
how much a
that is the
championship
price of
costs?
second place. Yeah.
Dale knows about that. Yeah.
The price of second place. Well done.
Yeah.
That's the number of points you can score in a finals and still not come away with the championship. So.
God, that is so
Always
ugly to look at. Look at that fucking that giant throbbing number up there.
I don't think I like the way you described that number.
Alex is bricked up for the second place.
I don't think I like the way you just described Alex right now. I think both of those comments are wild.
This is the kind of content that won't go public. We're not going to talk about throbbing numbers or the sound that Ash's mom makes when we have to release this to real humans.
Thanks for joining us for the ADHD podcast of the 2025.
Before we go, for our viewing listeners,
you said that 3 times now.
I know. We want topics that you want us to
discuss.
Yeah,
you just said that.
Yeah, so just send them in.
Engagement.
You know how to get a hold of us. Yeah, that way, because
send it to our PO box.
It's a lull in the year. Like, we don't got. So if you want us to do another pod before the start of the season, we want to. So, but we need things to talk about. So.
Divisional pod.
Division's on the dock.
Yeah, we saw a divisional pod.
That's usually closer to the start of the season, though. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just after draft.
I think we
should
should do proper and do one pod for each division. We have time to chew on everything.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We promise to do
4.
actual
That's 4 right
research
there.
before
We don't
record.
need your topics anymore, guys. Suck it.
Yeah, we still want topics.
We're good. We're scheduled up.
We gotta fill
We're
that
booked.
back half of each week. So.
Dude. 100%.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all we got. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate y'all. Love the ADHD league. It's my favorite league.
Eat it,
for some
other
coaches.
league.
Yeah,
Eat it, whatever other league you're on. I don't even have.
What other
another
league you in with a podcast?
Yeah,
That's very
I
fair.
also
That's
don't have
very
another
fair.
league. This is my only league. So my
Weekly waiver wire Wednesdays will start up again at the beginning of the season, because we do waivers like every day now, so that doesn't make any sense in the off season. I think I just dismissed and talked over somebody.
It's too
What that
late
was?
for that.
Ah, sweet,
We
good.
have to get
Host us
this
out of here,
podcast
bro.
at some point.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Dude, sometimes you just gotta quit letting us fucking talk, bro.
That was gold.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That was sweet. Oh,
Have
yeah,
we
buy,
stopped?
buy again.
Have
I thought we
stopped
buyed already.
recording?
I haven't. I'm waiting.
Cut
for
it
you to
after I
say-
said I thought we buyed already.
Or right now.
my God.
Go get yo.
Buy already.